All right, folks, it's that time of the year again. You guys know the deal. Since the beginning of this year, I have been trying to get one Chase Ink business card for all of my businesses every single quarter since the beginning of the year. And at this point, I would say we're just a little bit ahead of schedule, both getting approved for an Ink Unlimited, an Ink Cash, and actually my wife has an Ink Unlimited as well. So that's four this year between the two of us, and now I'm looking to get another baby. And you guys saw at the beginning of the year my ridiculous ink per quarter plan. So now we are on stage 4, so let's get right into it, baby. So a lot of you guys ask, why am I getting another Chase Ink Business Cash, right? I already have two of them. Why a third? Well, one, I'm trying to get them for all of my businesses, right? So I'm trying to get one for each and every single one of them. And secondly, and more importantly, the offer is still available. The welcome offer, not all-time high in terms of how much you actually get back for it, but an all-time high in how much time you have to hit all of the spend. So you can see right here, the new offer is earn 750 in bonus cash back, aka 75,000 Chase Ultimate Reward points after spending, well, two tiers, right? So 3K in the first 3 months, you get 35,000 points, and then an additional 40,000 points when you spend 6K in the first 6 months. So the ones I just got a few months ago, I just hit the welcome offer maybe a couple days ago, and that's why we are on the road to get another. And I love that you actually have 6 months to hit the entire 6,000 spend, so about $1,000 every single month. Whereas in the past, this is the normal standard offer, which is just 3 months to hit 6K, which is half the time that the in cash requires you, and for the same amount of spend, which is much, much harder. So I love the in cash because you get 6 months to do all of that. I absolutely love it for that reason. And of course, a lot of people I don't think are taking advantage of this, but you get a 10% business relationship bonus. So if you have a Chase business checking account within your first card anniversary year, so long as that you have open and you open this new offer of the Chase Ink Cash between March and November 2024, so we have just a few months left before this offer ends, they're going to be giving you a 10% bonus on all of the eligible cashback earned in your first year. So if you spend, $10,000 on your Chase Ink Cash on your business expenses, you'll be getting a 10% bonus on all of that as well, which is, something. It's something at least, right? Secondly, of course, the 5% categories have benefited me in a few different ways. I've been able to use it at restaurants and get 2% back. So 2% at, restaurants, so you're going to be getting that back. So 2x Chase Ultimate Reward points per dollar spent. And then also gas stations. There's a lot of people out there who are like, I have so much gas spend. Maybe you work for a driving school like I used to, and I had a lot of gas spend. Well, here's your 2% back card on all of that. And at least you can earn it in a currency like Chase Ultimate Reward points, which can be very, very valuable. So all the people who are holding out for like the Amex Gold card to have a gas category like it used to have, well, why not just get a Chase in cash, use that for your gas expenses, and then you are all good, right? And of course, as well, the 5% back category, which has helped me at office supply stores. It's how I actually bought this laptop that I'm recording on right now. I got 5% back on that entire purchase, as well as internet, cable, and phone services for all these guys who are paying all of that, which is probably the majority of people watching, right? So 5% back on all of those different things. And of course, especially like myself, who is, working from home, if I was paying for internet, cable, and phone services all separately, it's all kind of baked into the rent. But if I was, this would be another 5% back on all that. So a pretty powerful earner card, pretty powerful welcome offer. And that's the main reason why we're getting it. So this way we can fulfill more of a business spend down the line. Now, as always, if you guys want to apply alongside with me, I'm of course going to be adding my tips and stuff I've learned along the way and how I've constantly been getting approved for these cards. Maybe today is a different day, but if you want to do it alongside me, just make sure to apply through this page to the person that referred you to get a bonus. So if you look in the pinned comment, my referral link is down there below. So if you do use my link down in the pinned comment below, I really appreciate you. Of course, it means more to me than you know. And let's get into the application, baby. Let's see if we can get some more points, baby. Bam. Alrighty, let's run through the list. So I've done this a million times now. So from what I've seen, you guys do not care about these sections right here. So these things are all very self-explanatory. I'm going to be an owner here. Just remember, this is all personal details. So nothing to do with the business per se. It's just all you, just like you would on any other credit card application. Fill these out as you normally would anyway. And I like to always mention either Social Security or ITIN. ITIN is for folks who do not have a Social Security number. And if you're that person, you probably already have an ITIN number. So you're probably good to go. Your regular address and what have you. And then now down here is where we get into some of the business info and where a lot of people kind of run into issues. So just as I've done in all the videos prior, if you guys want a refresher, total gross annual income, this is going to be all of your income. So if you have a part-time job, a full-time job, and your business, okay, cool, put all of that stuff on the line. This is still just trying to see how much you bring in as a person every single year with everything combined. Just zooming in a little bit, you can see right here, it says exactly as I said, include full-time, part-time, internships, seasonal jobs, self-employment, interest, dividends, all these different things that include all of your income every single year. So you want to put this as high as possible. The lower the number, more than likely, the higher the risk. So you want to have as high a number as you possibly can. And that can be verified. If any of this stuff is unfounded, Chase can send you some stuff and you're going to have to approve all of your income, all those different things. So it's no reason to lie on any of these things. You're going to be fine. Just always tell the truth on these applications. Legal business structure. This is one that, again, is going to be something you've either filed, you've created yourself. So if you have an LLC, you've done this with your accountant or you just did it online. Okay, cool. If you have that in there, that's going to be adding the structure and then you'll have to re-add it in a little bit later on. For me, it's still going to be sole proprietorship. It's just the easiest way for me right now. One thing I will say, however, why it's a little bit different from sole proprietor is usually I've seen data points that if people put LLC, more than likely they get approved. And if they don't get approved, it's usually to verify some documents like articles of formation or what have you. And that way you have to send in to Chase to get verified. And then you can get your card application approved. So I just still put sole proprietor because I don't like the hassle and I never formed an LLC. So both work for me. So business legal name, if it's LLC or other, and any of these other ones that we mentioned earlier, you're going to have a name for that. If it is sole proprietor, like it is for me, it's just going to be your actual name. So Anthony Venture here, and then desired business name can be anything you want. I just put the same as though I don't try to put anything special. Although once I did make my wife's card, it was Mrs. Venture. So that's you can put whatever you want there. Doing business as, some people in the community have created a doing business as a DBA. So obviously, if you have done that or a trade name, that is what you're going to put here. So you'll hit yes and you'll say what name is that. For me is no, I've never done that. This they mentioned right below. If you have employees, put a number there greater than 0. If it is just you just enter 0. Tax ID essentially is going to be very similar to above. So if you've ever established an EIN that could be with just your social security number, you could have done that, or you could have done it under an LLC. Just make sure that everything is accurate and you have all the paperwork to say that. So if you have an EIN, of course, you'll write that and you'll put it here. For me, I never established any EIN whatsoever. So still, it's just going to be my normal social security number. So I'm going to put that there. Send it to a different address other than your actual personal address. Okay, cool. Yes or no. And then also here is where a lot of people run into issues. And I always like to mention this because it's helped so many people out on the videos that I've made in the past. I read all the comments and everybody says, oh, once I started doing this, then I started getting more approved. So the main thing is with the business established date, from what I found from my own experiences and a million other experiences and talking to Chase reps and all these people, business established date, the most important metric here is just make sure it's over a year old. Now, of course, if you have an LLC, you have a formation date, that's not something you can, fake or lie or extend arbitrarily. You already have a date of formation, so you know that there is a set date for this. For those of you guys like myself who are doing sole proprietor, there's technically no paper trail, so to speak, of when you established a business. The way I put it, it's like, oh, if you're at the 11th month mark and 10 days, call it a year, maybe a year and 1 month, something like that. It's not a big deal in the grand scheme of things. And from what I've seen, if it's over a year old, really over 6 months old, but for the most part, if it's over a year old, that's when people started getting more and more approved when they started putting that. And I've seen that in my own experience when my business went from 3 months old to 6 months old to over a year old. And then once it was over a year old, started getting approved much more often. I'm not saying it's the only metric, but it is a metric that is important. So at least a year is what I'm going to put here. And for me, it's 2 years old. So I would put this April 2022. So that's what I put there. Okay, cool. So annual business revenue, this is going to be solely your business, right? It's not all the personal details like they mentioned earlier. This is not going to be the full-time, part-time jobs. This is just the business itself. And this is what they're going to base actually approving you for the card and or what your credit limit is likely to be. Even though for most people, we all get approved for like 3 to 8K, depending unless the revenue is so high, then they'll give you a little bit higher. But for most of us in the 15 to 30 range for our businesses, yeah. And data points that I found, if this revenue was less than like 3 to 5,000, that's when I started seeing more and more people kind of getting denied. So once I started seeing people kind of like 5K and above and just talking to people and trying it for myself over time, anytime this was like below 3 to 5K is when people got it, more denied. Over 5K is when I saw more approvals. Again, just 1 point out of a greater whole. So for me, an example, it's going to be on this YouTube business yet again. And in this case, probably I'm going to use the same as I did last time, which is 15K. Annual business revenue is just how much you can reasonably expect to earn in a full year. Businesses change, they go up and down. Nothing is exact. So you want to have some good numbers to show. Estimated monthly spend, again, I always urge people to just be very honest with it because it's like, again, you have to hit that minimum monthly spend, right? What did we show? We showed that it was 6,000 spend over 6 months, so $1,000 every single month. So you're not going to not hit your welcome offer. And of course, if you have a business with all this amount of spend, then you should be hitting that regardless. So the main thing is, if you're going to be spending 1,000 a month for the next 6 months, that's what I'm going to put there. I don't understand the people who only put like $100 or $150. Like you don't look very profitable to banks if you're spending such a small amount of money, right? It really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things because again, all of this stuff is fairly estimated monthly spend. Again, are you spending 500 on materials, or maybe you have inflation, now it's 700, or inflation comes down, maybe the materials are 300, what have you. But at least for now, for the next 6 months you're going to be spending $1,000 every single month because you're not going to forego that welcome offer. So I just say put at least what you're going to be spending here, which in my estimation, it's actually going to be higher. For me, it's probably going to be 2K every single month. And that's okay. And that also just means that you're more than likely to get approved because you're just more of a better risk to them and you look like a more profitable person. Should that come down over time? It's really not a big deal, to be honest. And then once you actually put all this information in, then you're going to be getting the business classification pop up right here, which is a little bit different than it used to be. Now you can just add keywords for your business. And so for the business description, of course, you want it as closely related to your business as possible. So in the past, like when I've done my real estate, I'll actually write that here to show you guys how it populates. So you'll hit that, you hit enter. And then for me, since I'm a real estate agent, it would be offices of real estate agents and brokers. So for the YouTube channel, even though it might be wrong, but it doesn't really mean really too much in the grand scheme of things. You just want to have it as closely related to your business as possible. So for me, over the years, I've always tried to put it pretty much the same exact one that has always kind of worked and kind of worked with the niche. So I would say internet, information, and then subtype. Again, I go down here, I do internet, broadcasting, social network, and then again, social network. So this is the one that I've kind of always used in all of my, applications. And listen, it's always been fine. So knock on wood. We'll see if this one's fine. Make sure everything is correct. Always double check everything, every single line that you put here. Make sure everything is absolutely exact and perfect. And then, of course, you click this button, I've read and agree, and then you hit submit. So I'm going to put all this information in, and then we'll come back to the live application. Okay, and now that everything is filled out correctly, we're going to hit I've read and agreed to the above, and now we're going to hit submit, baby. Let's do it. Do we click it? Hello? Oh. What the? Okay. So that was the weirdest. There was no screen for rolling, the spinning. There's no nothing. What the heck was that? I just pressed submit twice. Didn't do anything whatsoever. And then all of a sudden, bam, we got approved, baby. So we're all set. Chasing Business Cash, $5,000 credit line. That's higher than I've ever had. Wow. That's the highest starting limit so far. And now we are at 4 for 4 this entire year, baby. Let's go. Let's go. That's awesome. Really taken aback by that process there. Maybe they're going to stop at the spinning wheel and just be like, submit. Okay, you're approved or denied. And this way, you don't have to delay the inevitable. Nobody has to get nervous anymore. So, hell yeah, let's go. And again, if you want to try it out, check out the pinned comment below is my personal referral link. I really appreciate it if you do. It really means a lot to me if you do. And if you do, let me know down in the comments below so I can give you a hearty handshake in advance. And then please let me know if you do get approved for this card, because then, hey, listen, everybody's happy, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to call Chase right now. So this way I can go and expedite the card. That's right. If you guys weren't familiar, call Chase as soon as you are able to, as soon as you get approved for the card, they'll see it on their end. And then this way they can expedite the card. It's no cost to you whatsoever. And they send it within like 1 or 2 business days. So it's very, very fast. And you might as well, right? It just makes sense to get the card faster. So as always, thank you guys so much for being here all the way to the end. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.